Greetings, everybody. Chris Hislop from the Montana World Affairs Council. Welcome to What, So What, Now What, our international affairs webcast that connects you with an expert on the issue of the day, and lickety-split, you become the expert. Today, we're joined by our friend and colleague, Mychailo Wynnyckyj. He's an associate professor at Kyiv Mohyla Academy and a higher education consultant. He can be seen on a number of international news outlets, providing his expert analysis on the situation in Ukraine. Today, rather than being in Kyiv, he's joining us as he's on a temporary research fellowship at Harvard. Mychailo, welcome back to the show. How are you?
Thank you very much. Doing well.
It's great to see you, Mychailo. So President Biden has just had a surprise visit to Kyiv. It's a buzz in the news, but we'd like to get past the news a little bit to get your expert analysis on what happened.
I think the most important thing is that we have to realize that President Biden's trip was largely symbolic, but it was timed extremely well. The Ukrainians definitely are anxious about the first anniversary of the full-scale invasion, which is going to be on the 23rd and 24th of February. And the fact that President Biden arrived actually on the 20th of February, which is considered to be what we call Dignity Day. It's the day that the first deaths happened in the 2014 revolution. We lost approximately 100 citizens, protesters against the pro-Russian regime. And this has become a very symbolic day because it's kind of the start, in fact, of the war between Russia and Ukraine, because Russia, in fact, invaded Ukraine on that day 9 years ago. So it was very much symbolic. What do we expect from it? Well, at the end of the day, more tanks, more rockets, more artillery, everything that is required for Ukraine to get its territory back from the Russian aggressor.
So, Mychailo, in American domestic news, of course, there's backing and forthing on this, highly politicized. But maybe your take on why does this matter to the situation beyond the important symbolism? What does this visit deliver to the situation?
I think it's really important to understand also that this visit was immediately followed by Putin's speech today. President Putin had a long and rambling 2-hour speech. It was kind of funny to watch the people that were sitting in the Kremlin in the audience and trying not to fall asleep. We were expecting, in fact, a much more radicalization from Putin. We were expecting a lot more of a statement of, he might be resorting to nuclear weapons, he might be resorting to escalation of other things, etc. I think that Biden's arrival made it very clear that Ukraine has backing from the West, and it's not just the United States; it's also all of the leaders of the European Union. In fact, it should be noted that Biden was the last leader of any leader of the countries that are currently supporting Ukraine to arrive in Kyiv. So, I mean, this was not only symbolic from the point of view of help and actual military aid to fight back the aggressor, but in fact, Biden was kind of doing what he probably should have done a long time ago, because Macron has done it. I mean, Johnson and Sunak have done it, and obviously we've had German leaders come to us. The point is that basically everybody has made that symbolic gesture. Now it was the turn of the United States.
So, Mychailo, looking ahead on this, in addition to promises of assistance to Ukraine from the United States and its NATO allies, is there anything else we might expect coming off of this visit?
I don't think coming off of this visit specifically, no. I think that, the lines have been drawn. The question now becomes that the war has to be decided on the battlefield. And now the question is, are we going to have, it's going to be a meat grinder. Putin has made it exceptionally clear that he's going to be throwing hundreds of thousands of bodies at this trench warfare. Those of us that remember our history lessons from the First World War, it's a very similar kind of war, literally senseless death on both sides. Thankfully, the Ukrainians are better armed, better organized, better motivated, and so we're losing fewer people. But at the end of the day, both sides are losing. And it's going to last that way until about the fall, until such time as we have some sort of a breakthrough from the Ukrainian side and we're able to put an end to this war.
Thank you very much for that, Mychailo Wynnyckyj, and thanks to our sponsors here from the Dennis and Phyllis Washington Foundation, Clearwater Credit Union, Allegiance, and Stockman Bank, who help us bring this and many more programs to you. Mychailo Wynnyckyj coming from Harvard after a couple months back to Kyiv. Great to see you again. Be well, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.